It's part of the process. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 73 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and this episode, as every day that I wash my hair, I will constantly be touching it because, it explodes, and I still haven't found a way. The real answer is that I should cut it, but still haven't found my barber of trust here in the city. Besides that, it's gonna be a bit of a low energy episode today because I have had tennis training, and as always, it destroys me because not only is it physically demanding, but it's mentally demanding, and I keep repeating myself when I have these kind of sessions that it's all part of the process. Today was a bit tough because it was a session in which I struggled a lot. Partially, it was due to the frustration that I changed the strings of the racket. It was actually my first time ever in my life playing with fresh strings, and the difference is insane. They definitely are much more responsive, and I don't have to use as much power as I thought I would need to. And this was frustrating because every ball was going out, and it took me a while to adjust to it. So, already my mood wasn't the greatest. I was also a bit physically fatigued. And overall, I had moments when I was like, okay, let me focus, let me do the shot. Okay, it's perfect, good. Next shot, I completely forget what I just told myself and I make a mistake. And due to the fact that it's so high intensity, these things happen back to back to back to back to back, and they really get to your mind. And today's episode is a bit in contrast with the one of yesterday. I really recommend you to watch it to balance the two things. Because yesterday, I focused a bit on the activities that you knew you were good at. It's just that you stopped. And, getting back into it, it's always pleasant, Whereas in this case, this is an activity that I'm not all that good at anymore. It falls still within the, let's say, process that I go usually through with new things that I try. I am fortunate enough to get good pretty fast at something, or at least, let's say, skip a lot of the baseline struggles. But at the same time, I usually also, given that, I go so fast up, I also want to do more. And the moment that you want to do more, you hit a wall that can be surpassed only with training. And especially, in a sport like this that requires years of practice. And I keep repeating myself, it's part of the progress. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. Don't worry, it's going to be better next time. And even though this is true, because I do personally feel that I am improving, the rate at which this is happening, it's not that fast. And I always think back that I am a bit, let's say, I wish that when I was smaller, I would have done, let's say, something either physical, or the example that was coming to my mind right now was learning to play an instrument, specifically the piano. Besides all the shenanigans, and I don't care necessarily about the piano itself. I was never necessarily too much into music, but it is a very demanding thing, and it's a process that takes time. As I was mentioning already with tennis, the real champions and the ones that actually, start doing something, they start when they are 4, 5, 6, and they play years and years and years. I've been playing for almost 1 year, and also here and there, nothing, let's say, too consistent. And again, I do consider that I'm a very good level for the experience that I have, but at the same time, it's nothing to be too amazed of. And yet, here I am in this frustrating feeling. So my guts tell me, you suck, you're so bad at this. Why don't you do better? My mind gives me, the options to actually do better, to improve. I know what to do. The coach that I train with tells me, the things that I do. And for example, I mean, just to give you the thing that frustrates me a lot is that when I hit the ball, I should be going forward. And this, helps a lot, let's say, the flow of the racket, it helps you push more force in front of you. You have to, let's say, use less your arm, you can use more your body. And in general, it propels you in the right direction that you want to play in. And if I tell myself to do that, I do it. But the moment that maybe I have a hard ball or I'm not fully focused, that I was saying, as for example today, I keep on hitting and going back. And this, in my mind, I know perfectly why it happens, because it's a lack of trust of the thing that is going to happen. It's a lack of confidence. I am not completely sure that through the movement that I will be doing, it's going to happen exactly what I have in mind. Therefore, I hesitate, or I am like, okay, I'm going to do this, but not fully. Like, I'm going to detach from it. And this process of, getting away from it, it destroys the whole thing. Sometimes the hit is still okay, but it's the removal of this instinct that is the hardest part. And I think in general, whenever we try to learn something new, these are the bits that mostly, stay with us. These instinctive moves and patterns that one has, that they're just detrimental for what you're trying to do. And even more specifically, when you're trying to pass, that level of a beginner and actually, start putting a solid base on which you can improve. Because if I just wanted to throw the ball in the other direction, I mean, there's no problem whatsoever. Again, I'm fortunately way beyond that. But the struggle of actually putting my mind and my body to do something regularly and accepting that there is going to be a lot of errors, it's crazy. And the same thing, I think the prime example and the thing that drives me nuts to conclude, this a bit more tennis-oriented episode is the serve. It has been told to me, and I recognize also to myself, that I do have a very strong and fast serve when it goes in. And the reasons why it doesn't go in is mostly what I told you already. Like, I hit the ball, but then I either go back. So I do the right movement and all. It's just that I'm not propelling my body forward. Therefore, I reduce my chances of actually, putting my whole body and hitting the ball in the right way to do it properly. And when I, focus and I do it, I usually ace, or I have a very, very effective and successful serve. But on the other hand, when I'm just off my mind, I keep on entering this loop of mistakes and of frustration. It's crazy. And all of this to say that accept, because there's no other way to say that it's part of the process, but also, as I usually try to give you an actionable advice, go out there and struggle on things that you're not that good at. Find any kind of hobby or activity that you might be interested in, from the, let's say, more the one that require a lot of hustle, like tennis, or it can be even, learning a new skill online or anything. If it's something physical, it's better, because again, then you are also required to have the connection with your body, and that adds a certain layer. But even if it's something digital or something that, just involves your mind, go out there and struggle, because the more you get accustomed to that feeling, the more you get accustomed to that system of failure, frustration, and repetition, the better you'll do. Because either if we like it or not, it's at the basis of any kind of activity, or anything that can be defined success comes from something like that. So go out there, struggle, give it your best. And as always, let me know in the comments if you have anything that you're struggling with at the moment. This was episode 73 of the Shower Podcast, low energy, because I'm absolutely tanking. Thank you very much for listening, and see you at the next one.